It began as a simple missing person case. A respected National Guard soldier, a husband, a father of 3, vanished without a trace. No witnesses. No body. No sign of struggle. Just a calm wife with a strange story, and a brand new mattress sitting where the old one used to be. But behind the quiet walls of their Utah home lay a secret that would shatter a family forever. A forbidden affair, whispered lies, and a betrayal so cold it ended in murder. The man who served his country would never wake again. The woman who shared his bed would soon face the truth she tried to bury. And 3 innocent children would lose both parents, one to the grave, and the other to a prison cell. This isn't just the story of a killing. It's the story of how love can decay into deceit. How a secret lover became the spark that turned passion into death. This is the case of Jennifer Gledhill. A mother, a wife, and the woman whose affair led to one of the most haunting murders in Utah's history.
Disappearance of Matthew Johnson, a Utah father and husband, and the arrest of his wealthy wife, Jennifer Gledhill, for first-degree murder.
On September 28th, Jennifer Gledhill called police to report her husband, Matthew Johnson, missing.
When Matthew Johnson was reported missing in late September of 2024, nobody expected foul play at first. He was a 51-year-old member of the Utah National Guard, disciplined, reliable, and deeply devoted to his 3 young children. Friends said he was the kind of man who always showed up early, prepared, professional. So when he suddenly stopped answering messages, stopped showing up to work, and missed picking up his kids, everyone knew something was wrong. His wife, Jennifer Gledhill, was the first to call the police. She told them Matthew had stormed out after another argument. That he was upset. That he might have gone away to clear his head. But detectives immediately noticed something strange. Jennifer didn't seem worried. Not the way a wife normally would be. And when officers visited the couple's home in Cottonwood Heights, Utah, they noticed something even stranger. The master bedroom had a brand new mattress still smelling of plastic and fresh fabric. It was barely a day old. And when asked what happened to the old one, Jennifer hesitated. Then she said she got rid of it because the kids spilled juice on it. Police took note. And within days, they'd begin to suspect that this missing person wasn't missing at all. A few days after Matthew's disappearance, police received a confidential tip. A man, who asked to remain unnamed, came forward claiming to know exactly what happened. He said Jennifer had confessed everything. That she told him in her own words that she'd shot her husband in his sleep. The man wasn't just anyone. He was her secret lover. He'd met Jennifer months earlier, when her marriage was already strained. It began as innocent friendship, small talk, late-night messages, private meetups. But soon, it became a full-blown affair. And according to his statement, Jennifer told him she couldn't take it anymore, the constant fighting, the custody arguments, the fear of losing her children. She told him she'd finally ended it. At first, he thought she meant she'd filed for divorce. But then she described something else entirely. She said she waited until Matthew was asleep. She took a gun. And she shot him point blank while he lay in bed. The lover said she then dragged his body into a rooftop storage container, slid it down the stairs, and loaded it into the family's minivan. Then she drove north, into a quiet rural area, and buried him in a shallow grave. When investigators heard this story, they didn't know what to believe. There was no body. No weapon. No crime scene, not yet. But the lover didn't stop there. He told them about the new mattress. The bleach smell in her house. The late-night cleaning. And he handed them recordings, phone conversations he'd secretly made with Jennifer after her confession. In one of them, she said something haunting. He wasn't mad anymore. He was just a body. That was all detectives needed to hear. Search warrants were executed almost immediately. Officers returned to the Gledhill home with forensic experts, ultraviolet lights, and chemical sprays. And what they found beneath that new mattress confirmed their worst suspicions. Reddish-brown stains under the bed tested positive for human blood. More blood was found on the walls, faintly wiped, and on the bed frame. The floor had been recently scrubbed with bleach. It was clear something violent had happened in that room. And when investigators pulled surveillance footage from a nearby store, they saw Jennifer buying cleaning supplies, garbage bags, and most importantly, the brand new mattress she had claimed was a replacement for juice stains. Neighbors later reported seeing her parents at the house late that same night, helping her carry out large plastic wrapped items to the garage. Days later, police tracked her phone's GPS data and discovered that on the night Matthew vanished, Jennifer's phone had traveled far north, to a remote, wooded area. There, it stopped for several hours, before returning home. It matched perfectly with her lover's account of the burial. And though Matthew's body was never recovered, the physical and digital evidence began to weave a story of premeditated murder, one that prosecutors would later call cold and calculated. But to understand how a marriage reached this point, we have to go back, before the gunshot, before the lies, before the affair. Jennifer and Matthew were once the picture of a loving family. 3 children. A home in the suburbs. A husband who served in the military and provided for his family. And a wife who stayed home, active in the community, known for her warmth and friendliness. But behind closed doors, their marriage was unraveling. Friends said Matthew was under immense stress from work and family life. Jennifer, on the other hand, felt neglected and trapped. Their arguments became louder, their trust thinner. By mid-2024, Jennifer filed for divorce. She also filed for a temporary protective order, claiming she feared Matthew's temper. But the court denied a permanent order, citing lack of evidence. To friends, it looked like a bitter separation that might eventually calm down. But inside Jennifer's heart, something darker was growing. She had begun seeing another man, someone she described as understanding, gentle, and everything her husband wasn't. She told him her marriage was over, that she and Matthew barely spoke except to argue about the kids. And according to prosecutors, she started fantasizing about a life without him. Then came September 20th, 2024, the night everything changed. That evening, Matthew returned home after a long day. He'd discovered messages on Jennifer's phone, texts that proved she'd been lying about the affair. Witnesses later said that he was heartbroken, not enraged. He confronted her quietly, asking, "Why, Jen? Why would you do this?" But instead of admitting the truth, Jennifer grew defensive. She told him he was controlling, that he drove her to it, that he deserved the distance between them. Neighbors heard muffled voices, not a violent fight, but tension. Then silence. Matthew went to bed that night, while Jennifer stayed up pacing, crying, thinking. At some point in those hours before dawn, she made a choice. Investigators believe she took his handgun, the one he kept for protection, walked into the bedroom, and pulled the trigger while he slept. One shot. Then another. Matthew never woke up. Afterward, panic set in. Jennifer didn't call 911. She didn't scream or run. Instead, she began to clean. She dragged Matthew's body from the bed and used bleach to wipe the floor. She stripped the sheets and carried the mattress out of the house. When her parents arrived later that night, prosecutors say they helped, scrubbing, disposing of evidence, even purchasing a new mattress to replace the old one. Within hours, Jennifer was already constructing her cover story. Matthew had left after another argument. He hadn't come back. She didn't know where he went. But phone records, credit cards, and surveillance cameras showed otherwise. Matthew's truck was later found abandoned near a rural road, keys still in the ignition. His wallet and ID were gone, as if someone wanted it to look like he'd just disappeared. But when the blood evidence, GPS data, and Jennifer's own recorded words were combined, investigators saw the truth. And by early October 2024, Jennifer Gledhill was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. When her arrest made headlines, the story shocked the entire community. A mother of 3. A respected family. A missing soldier. The public wanted answers. Prosecutors laid out 9 felony charges, including murder, obstruction of justice, desecration of a body, and witness tampering. Her parents were later arrested too, accused of helping hide evidence. In court, Jennifer appeared calm, composed, even. She pleaded not guilty to all charges. Her lawyers claimed there was no body, no murder weapon, and no direct proof of Matthew's death, only circumstantial evidence and a lover's word. But prosecutors pointed to the recordings. The blood. The cleaning. The GPS trail. The new mattress. And they painted a picture of a woman desperate to control her own story, one who chose to erase her husband rather than face losing her family and her reputation. Today, Jennifer Gledhill remains behind bars, awaiting trial. Her children are under the care of relatives. Her parents face their own charges for obstruction. And Matthew Johnson, the devoted husband, the father, the soldier, is still missing. His body has never been found. Police continue to search the remote northern areas where Jennifer's phone last pinged. But whether they ever find him remains uncertain. It's a case built on silence, on what's missing, rather than what's seen. No body. No confession in court. Just fragments of truth stitched together by technology, testimony, and tragedy. In the end, it's a reminder that the most dangerous lies aren't always shouted. Sometimes, they're whispered through tears to someone who isn't supposed to hear them. This case leaves haunting questions. How does love twist into hatred so complete that it destroys everything in its path? How does a partner, once trusted with your life, become your greatest danger? From a secret affair to a missing husband, to a murder without a body. The story of Jennifer Gledhill shows just how fragile truth can be. And how darkness can hide behind even the calmest smiles. But the deepest tragedy isn't found in the courtroom or the crime scene. It's in the quiet rooms where 3 children now sleep. Children who will grow up without their father. And without their mother. One parent gone forever. The other behind bars, accused of taking his life. They've lost the people meant to protect them. Left instead with questions no child should ever have to ask. Where is Daddy? Why isn't Mommy coming home? And as they grow, their lives will forever be shaped by a story written long before they understood what it meant. A story of love, betrayal, and loss. The future that should have been theirs, family dinners, bedtime stories, birthdays, now lives only in memory. For them, there is no verdict that can bring peace. Only the hope that one day, they'll find the strength to build a new life from the ruins of the one they lost. Until justice is served, Matthew Johnson's name stands as a reminder. Sometimes, evil doesn't knock. It sleeps beside you, and it leaves the innocent to live with the echo. This was the case of Jennifer Gledhill, from secret affair to murder.